Hello, take 10. So, welcome back to the No Show. No, I'm kidding. It's not actually the No Show today. No Show season 1 concluded last week. I don't really know what to call this. Maybe the lockdown show. It's not really anything serious. It'll probably just be me recording from like this point of view, something like that. No cuts, no edits, no intros or outros, nothing. Just one take, and boom, out to the world. Um, Season 2 is going to be delayed a bit because even though, I've got plenty of time now of the lockdown, like other things are taking a higher priority. One of them I'm a little bit ashamed to admit is gaming. I've been doing a ton of that. I'm still putting a decent amount of time, at least for what I think is decent, into whatever this is. But yeah, so probably gonna do maybe another 3 episodes like this, just so I could probably kick episode or season 2, episode 1 off with a better start, because I actually want to make seasons two's quality slightly better, not much better, not like a crazy amount, but I want it to be noticeably better. So it's probably best that I actually, spend the time in investing in doing certain things I'm gonna need to do so that improvement in quality is noticeable. But yeah, the lockdown is still going well, still going cool. Well, I mean, of course, the lockdown in general isn't going well, but at least for me personally, everything is handy dandy. It's all fine. Yeah, I mean, it gets a little bit boring staying indoors all that time, but I would never say I'm bored, really. There are moments I'm like, oh shit, it would be nice to just kind of go outside, but I've never really succumbed to the boredom that much that I would actually go out and do it in like great quarantine. But yeah, like I haven't really, I went outside once. I went to the park to do some exercise because it was a pretty intensive workout, something I couldn't do indoors, quite a bit of hit, and my fitness has gone to shit. Like I could barely do it. Like it was only about 12 minutes of like actually doing like the intensive shit, but I almost died. Like after the first 4 minutes, I was donezo's. It was not good. But the good thing is that if you already had fitness in the past, or you already had like a little bit of strength as well, a little bit of muscular definition, then you see all those gains come back pretty quickly. I definitely feel like from day to day, like my fitness and my strength is coming back like quite quickly, which is promising. Even though I'm only doing body work exercises, but body work exercises are actually pretty damn good. Just a little bit more challenging to progress since you have to do lots of different variations and stuff, like compared to just adding weight to the bar. But that's getting a bit more technical into the gym stuff. But yeah, like what's really happened this week? Well, not much apart from Boris Johnson is going to die. That's just kidding. Well, kidding, not kidding. Who knows? Who knows? Haven't really kept up with the news about him though. Let's see. Let's see what is going on in his world. Yeah, he's still in intensive care. It doesn't really sound like there's much more information on it. Yeah. Anyway, like that would be, regardless of what your political beliefs are or your opinions, that would be quite disastrous if an actual head of state succumbed to the coronavirus. That'll probably throw a lot of people the wrong way. um, but yeah, that's not great. I don't know. He's in intensive care. It didn't sound like he was on the, what do you call it, a ventilator or anything like that. But yeah, sucks to be Boris Johnson. That's all I can say. But yeah, I mean, the coronavirus. Well, let's see what the toll was today. So no. Oh, so it rose to 854 in one day. Alright, so, that's raising some concerns. So Italy, which has recorded the most deaths in a single day, was at 971. And then Spain at 950, second highest. Wow, this is not great. Not great at all. And even with all that, you still have people who break quarantine. It's just one of those things where, like, it's really funny because I was watching a show which I would recommend to anyone to watch. What's it called? Cobra Kai. It's a YouTube Red series, and I don't know. I haven't watched many other YouTube Red series. I think I've only watched one other one to completion. But this Cobra Kai series is lit. It is the bomb. Like, that shit is good. And without giving too much about the show away, I've definitely got to do a review of it sometime. But one of the premises of the show, whether it was intended or not, but it screamed out in the writing was, even if you are like technically a good person, because let's say most people are good or at least not evil, that at least most suffering is still caused by good people by being ignorant and stupid and not being the best versions of themselves that they could be. And the reason I brought that up because it feels like the same thing where you could go out and mug somebody, and because that's obviously something you shouldn't do, and there's a victim and there's a perpetrator, you can link the two. It's really easy to demonize that person, arrest them and lock them up. But when it comes to something like breaking quarantine, there's a chance that you didn't really change the world in any way. You didn't infect somebody, you didn't do anything, but there's a chance that because of you doing that, you went off to kill not just one but multiple people as an individual. But because the consequences aren't really that obvious, in fact, they're really hidden, they're opaque. You will never know if it's actually your fault that someone else died because you broke quarantine. Because of that, a lot of people will be absolved of much. I guess there's still a shame in to go with it, but much of the abhorrent morality you would come across if you went and mugged someone directly, even though potentially breaking quarantine can kill somebody, which is significantly worse. And let's face it, people who broke in quarantine have killed people. That's just a fact. How many people have died in the UK? I don't know, but the figure is probably around 6,000-7,000, something around that. So you mean not a single one of those deaths can't be attributed to someone who just broke quarantine and is at home? Of course. Of course, there are definitely people who would have to be held account for their actions, but they caused death. And that is quite shameful, but that's just on the individualistic level. But you hear some things coming out from US when you hear about the top medical officials telling people that masks aren't useful, so they should just avoid using a mask. In fact, they say that masks can be even detrimental and that they can be worse for your health than other people's. And such things like these, to the best of my knowledge, are just terrible, terrible, terrible lies. Masks do work, they are effective. Of course, there's always going to be a balancing act because, masks will cause some deaths. That will happen. However, that's not even going to compare to the amount of deaths it would prevent through reducing transmission. So And you wonder, like, why would these people go out and lie about masks not being useful? And it's because they got their own agenda. One speculation is that the governments and the people who are supposed to be out there protecting us mandated to basically have provisions and, have these protocols and processes set up so in a time like this, things don't hit the fan or shit doesn't hit the fan so quickly. But apparently things weren't in place, and one of those is that masks weren't readily available, and this is one of the things that apparently should have been secured. So one way, like, these medical officials are trying to dampen their, I guess, their inability to make sure these things are available and to reduce their liabilities by trying to reduce the amount of people going out and buying or even stockpiling masks, because that'll make it look not quite as bad on them, because, like, all right, we're still trying to meet the demand, so they're trying to squash the demand, so they don't look as inept when they say, oh, sorry, we don't have anywhere near as much as in demand. That's such a trivial reason to increase, like, the amount of transmission and effectively killing people. Like, that's just gross misconduct. And no, really, these people should step down, like, resign. Yeah, job is just grinding away. It's not really interesting. It's not hard. Well, I mean, the technical aspect of the job isn't hard itself. It's the other things around it that are kind of annoying. No, there are problems there, but yeah, we'll see. I might not be holding on to this current contract for much longer. We'll see how it goes, because I'm supposed to be up by the end of this month, which would mean that if they do actually cut the contract then, which would be understandable, because us contractors are expensive and coronavirus, everyone's making sacrifices, that it means I'll go back to pretty much doing nothing. I have some wages that'll be guaranteed. It's not really enough to live in London though, but it's it's not going to be the end of the world. Everyone's suffering now, so there's not much I can do about that. And yeah, I'm just wondering, like, why people getting so bored that they break quarantine. I don't know, maybe everyone should try playing games. That's what I do. Like, they're so, I don't want to say addicting, but they're so easy to waste days and weeks and months in them. There's just so much you can do in games, and there's so many different games to play. I wonder if you force someone to play games for, I don't know, a week. You just force them to play a significant amount of time each day for a week. Different games though, that I wonder if you could basically get a lot more people into it. But I wonder what the retention rate would be. And yeah, I mean, I guess part of the reason why people are, like, still going out is that the weather's become mockingly nice. Like, super warm all of a sudden. Like, if it was only a couple of weeks ago that I would constantly need my heater on, just to keep this room warm, because yeah, it's pretty old house insulation shit, so it gets freezing in here. But now it's almost too much. Like, during the day I'm just wearing, like, t-shirt, shorts, and still almost sweating, so I'm really not using the heater as much anymore. And the weather's just bright outside, and it's kind of melancholy seeing how bright it is, and, like, how the weather is great and how warm it is, and looking out your window and still seeing the street deserted. Like, that's kind of creepy a little bit, especially in London. Like, you just don't get that. But yeah. No, apart from that, like, the exercise is going well. I'm cutting weight. That's the most important thing. The exercise is kind of like, tertiary. Like, that's secondary to tertiary to, I don't even know what comes in between, but the most important thing is losing weight. More like losing fat. I don't really have any muscle to lose, so the amount of protein I've been taking in isn't really ideal. Um, yeah, that should be what season 2 or 3 will be about. There'll be a lot of fitness stuff in there because even though, I'm not in great shape, there was a time where I was in a lot better shape and I knew a lot more about this fitness related stuff, information I feel like I could share with people, especially people who aren't actually gonna go and watch a video dedicated to this, because next season's format will be a bit different. Like I'm hoping to have, you know, maybe like 5 minutes be a bit rambly, about 5 minutes about news and stuff, and then like 5 minutes to be just like a little outtake of like a proper well made video documentation on how to hack your body into great shape. And a lot of it will be about how to actually, get this done in your life. It's not the science. The science is pretty easy to follow, but the strategy and how to actually invoke it in your own life can be a little bit more challenging because it usually takes up a lot of discipline to do things like this. And yeah, one of the ways I can basically help people is share my experiences and how to make this journey as easy as possible. But yeah, like the main reason why I had to quit exercise, apart from moving around, is that I got like injuries in my lateral shoulder heads, so like bursitis. It's like inflammation, but I didn't even know it's bursitis until maybe about half a year ago, until I had to take private scans. But like this issue occurred about a whole year ago, and I wanted to get NHS scans. Yeah, the scans for NHS, and they're like, yeah, it will take like a few months. All right. Then I'm actually getting in a few weeks. That's good, but they didn't actually give me the proper scans. They gave me some bone scans for like muscle. I was like, what did they give? They gave me an X-ray, and I needed an MRI or an ultrasound, and they gave me an X-ray. I was like, what the fudge have I got an X-ray for? It's just stupid. I don't understand how GP systems work. They're broken, and yeah, I didn't get what I needed, and they said, oh, you've been put on a waiting list for an ultrasound. You'll get it by the end of 2019. And remember, this wasn't even May. This was, I think, around April when this happened. I was like, what? I have to wait to the end of 2019 to get my scan? That's bullshit. I was like, oh man, that's socialized healthcare for you. I was like, oh well. So essentially, I just stopped gymming and stuff because like it was bad. It got to the point that I couldn't really do anything in the upper body region without it causing pain. So I eventually said, screw it. I've got a bit of money together now. I'm just gonna get a private scan. The scans, I think cost like £200 or so. So it's not like cheap. But I got scanned, I got diagnosed. It's like, oh great. So now I kind of know how to fix it. But it's one of those things that's hard to self-treat. You kind of ideally need a physiotherapist looking over your process or progress, looking at you doing exercise and see like, if it's correcting itself or not. But there's still like other issues in my body that I need scanned. So I really doubt I've got like a herniated disc or slipped disc or something like that. But I think I do have definitely some trapped nerve issue. I'm not sure what the cause of that is, but yeah, it's definitely causing pain down my lower, down the back of my leg rather, and that kind of stuff. I also need to go see what they call the medical experts for, but there's no chance I'm going through the NHS. To make things worse, the NHS actually cancelled my scan. I was supposed to get late 2019. They delayed it to sometime around now, and then they just cancelled it completely. So imagine just waiting for a scan for a whole year and then never even getting it. So I'm glad I actually at least done something on my own privately. But for the other stuff, I'm going to have to, wrangle some money together. Hopefully, I have enough money by summer to get all the other stuff sorted, because it might, cost over £1,000 or something by the end of it to fix some of the problems I've got, which isn't going to happen on the amount of money I'm making now. But the amount of money I'll be making in like, let's see, about 3 months' time, we'll hopefully cover it. But it's kind of difficult to project because coronavirus has screwed up my plans quite a lot, so that's kind of shit. Anyway, it's been about 20 minutes of me rambling. When I get in the flow, I can ramble for a little bit. But yeah, that's probably it for episode 1 of the lockdown show. But yeah, I mean, I'll be back next week. It might be this exact same format, or if I actually have some content to throw out, I'll actually throw out some better content, but I don't really know. I'd rather use the time I usually spend making the show, which even though the show was that shit, it still took time. Because there's like other background processes, like rendering takes a freaking long time sometimes, and like sometimes you're doing a bit of editing or rather going through your footage to cut bits out. It can be a bit time consuming, but rather than doing any of that, I'd rather, plan for next stuff, because I don't know, maybe season 2, it depends if I get a lot of my planning work done. Season 2 might actually be able to be scripted for the most part and up to a much higher level. But who knows. Anyway, I don't really care about how these things come out, at least not until 2021. Because hopefully by 2021 I can take it a lot more serious, because the goal is to essentially just do this for a year, get it all done, and then if I can do it for a year, I can prove to myself that I can actually invest money and way more time into making this more profitable. This is more of a discipline thing. But yeah, anyway, my food is around, so I'm going to cut this off here and upload later. Oh,